Hello and welcome back once again to another Sketch and Chat Sunday video. I'm really excited to be sharing this one with you. I think you're going to find it exciting. I hope you stick around for the entire thing, and just know that it is really cold here, and that's why I'm wearing a hoodie in this video. So before I get started talking about this piece, I would like to really quickly say that I made a small mistake when planning out my schedule for these videos. So as I've said in the past, I record these usually about a week in advance, and I edit them, and then I just do the voice recording the day before they go up. So they come up on Sunday, so I do the voice recording on the Saturday before, and all I really have to do is slap that on and upload it and schedule it to YouTube, and everything is great. But this week I made a mistake. I got the video recorded like I always do in advance, and then I was looking at my calendar and I realized that this coming weekend is Thanksgiving, and so I will actually be out of town Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I will be back in town sometime on Sunday, so that means I need to get the video audio recording done a lot earlier than I would normally expect myself to. The only thing this really affects is my end of video when I sit and talk about what I'm doing this week. It's not going to be anything new from last week. Yeah, because I'm basically doing these recordings one day and then the next day. So even though you're getting to watch these wonderful videos a week apart, I'm making this recording the day after I made the last recording. So what that means is when it gets to the end of the video, I will not be having any updates on what my week looks like. In case you're really curious, last week I did talk about The Burning White by Brent Weeks. I'm almost done with it. I told you guys I would finish it this week, and even though it's only been a day, I only have a small bit left in it, so I'm very excited to be able to say that it'll definitely be finished by next time. So my book will be something very different, but as for the TV show and music and all that stuff, no updates, nothing new to say. I mean, even the book really wasn't anything new to say, but I just wanted to let you guys know a little something since I did talk about it just recently with you. So let's go back to talking about this piece that I am currently working on. I have recently fallen in love with tarot card art design. I think that the artwork for it is absolutely so amazing and so beautiful, and it's been an inspiration in my life for maybe about 2-3 years now. But this past year, 2019, I've actually started designing just random cards here or there whenever I'm trying to think of an idea for some artwork that I'd like to do, but I feel kind of stuck. And this week was no exception. I decided that I wanted to do a card design, or at least my illustration would be based off of a card design. And I personally have a strong connection with the sword suit. I've always loved spades and anything to do with the spade suit. And so in tarot, when I found out that you can basically have a suit equal a suit, I looked up which one was the spades, and when I saw the swords, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've actually had my tarot read a few times, and every single time that I've had it read, I get either the Queen or King of Swords, and they have different meanings, and whatever you'd like to think about that, you can, but basically how I've always looked at it is I am a very logical person, and those are very logical cards, so they just happen to be showing up whenever I'm getting a reading. So going into this, I knew I wanted to do a card related to the swords, and I was going to try to avoid any of the ace, jack, queen, king cards, any of the face cards. So I was looking at all the different meanings for the number cards, and I came across the meaning for the Three of Swords, and it had a lot to do with heartbreak, betrayal, loneliness, absence, depression, separation, trauma, all of that kind of sad stuff. And I felt like I wanted to work with this. I felt a connection to this card, and I don't know what necessarily that says about me or what I'm going through in my life right now, but I just felt like I needed to work on this. And the card itself is often represented by just a heart with 3 swords puncturing through it, and then storm clouds behind it. So I knew that I wanted to incorporate the heart symbol, someone who is very emotionally upset, possibly even crying. I wanted to have the symbolism of 3 swords, of course, and then I also wanted to continue with the symbolism of the rain cloud. So you can see that I was working with a double spread, and that I had a girl on the right and a broken heart on the left, and then eventually at some point you will see that I have the swords above her head and this kind of rain gloominess in the background, and I was very, very attached to this. And my color comp came out really well. I was loving how it was looking, but something happened in between me doing the sketch and color comp and doing the final illustration. I came across something a little interesting that I thought I would share with you. So if you're not familiar with tarot, one of the options that can happen when you're getting a reading done is a card can be shown in reverse. And I came across this definition when I was reading into Three of Swords. I was still doing research in between the color comp and the final stage just to make sure I was really capturing everything correctly. And I, for some reason, hadn't read the reverse meaning of the card, and I finally did. And the reverse meaning of this card was about releasing pain and overcoming heartache and grief and depression, about forgiveness, reconciliation, compromise. It was all about not necessarily being happy, but overcoming the negativity in life. And I felt like that spoke to me so much more than the original Three of Swords card. And so I decided to reverse the heart in the final illustration and no longer have it be broken on the page. I made it look extremely bloody and cut up, like it had really been through something, but it was also there and solid and strong. And eventually, this is at the very, very end, I came up with the idea of having 3 swords above the girl and 3 swords above the upside down heart, so it's actually kind of below, depending on how you face it, to help connect them a little bit more. And I absolutely fell in love with this piece by the end. I felt like it really encapsulated everything that I wanted it to, that it turned out exactly how I wanted it to. I felt like I got the girl's face very, very close to what I was picturing in my head, which is a hard task to do. It can be very challenging. So it's always positive when you're feeling positive about the outcome of your artwork, especially when it has to do with portraits or emotions. The only small caveat I will add in right here at the end that I wish I could have improved on is in the color comp. I like how the background rainy sky, dark gloomy, stormy weather looks, I like it more there than in the final painted version. I think in the final painted version, I just got too dark, too heavy, and there weren't enough color variations and layers to it. I kind of did it in 2 layers, whereas my color comp I did in 3 or 4 layers, and it just ended up looking a lot better in the color comp. But I'm very, very happy with this final piece. I am really happy with how dark I got her hair. That's something I've talked about in previous sketch and chat videos, where I just haven't been able to get my darks as dark as I would like, but I managed to do it here, and that made me so happy. Yes. So here in the video, I'm still working on the color comp. I know I've already spoken all about the finished piece and the meaning and everything, but hopefully you'll be able to connect the dots as you're watching and see some of the stuff later on that I've already talked about. But I have officially reached the point where I don't have any more backlog for my sketch and chat videos. I'm sure by the time this video comes live, which congratulations to me, I will be in Bradenton, Florida / Sarasota, Florida when this video comes live. I'll be having a grand old time down there. It'll be a little bit warmer weather than here, which makes me sad because I absolutely adore this cold weather. But I will be there, so I will be busy, but hopefully by that point, as I was trying to say, I will have the next video sketched and painted, and all I will need to do is work on the voice recording the following weekend. So that'll put me back onto a normal schedule after this trip. I did talk briefly yesterday about how I'm not totally sure how many of these I'm going to do. I would absolutely love to promise you guys that I am going to do 10. I think that's a reasonable goal. I think I can do it, but I kind of hate making promises on my YouTube. I feel like I make promises and then it's the first thing to go when I get stressed or overwhelmed. So I'm not going to promise you 10 videos in the sketch and chat series. I know is this video number 6? This is video number 6. So it's not that many more I would have to do, but I just worry about timing and other things. Inspiration has to come to me. Anyways, I would absolutely love to do 10 videos though, because that will put me right at the end of 2019. And then I feel like I could start fresh with something new in 2020. But I also know I really wanted to finish out this sketchbook with you guys and this little watercolor palette in this video series. So maybe what will happen is in 2020, in January, I will take a short break and make some shorter videos that aren't necessarily having to be with this watercolor palette and having to be in this watercolor sketchbook. And then after that month break, I'll come back and do maybe another 10, or maybe I'll feel like I don't need a break. It's a little bit up in the air right now, and I know that's still 4 weeks away, so I have time to figure it out. I just like to be open and honest and communicating with you guys as much as I possibly can. Really quickly, I'm going to talk about the art for 2 seconds. I would just like to mention a little thing. So when I was painting the kind of background to the heart, I don't know exactly what to call it, the redness around the heart, I didn't record that bit. I apologize. I was doing a lot of this video late at night, and so some of it got recorded, some of it didn't. Anyways, I'll get back to the other topic at hand. So that is talking about my art videos. Now, I had promised you all that I would be doing 2 videos a week from now until the end of the year, and that has slightly changed. I am still doing 2 videos a week, but I finally decided that I needed to separate my channel. Up until now, I had kind of been having 2 channels in one, and it always bothered me, but I had never wanted to start a second one because I don't even have enough time really for this one. But finally, today I annoyed myself into doing it. So this channel will have 1 video a week, and my second channel, which is Mandolin Reads, same as this, just swap out the last word, will have all of my reading videos, book related, booktube, whatever you'd like to call it, and I'll be doing 1 video a week over there until the end of the year. Honestly, now that I have separated the 2 channels, I have a sneaking suspicion that there will actually be more content on both of them, because I'll just feel more free to post more often. But for the time being, for this next month, there will be 1 video a week on each channel. Most likely, the Sketch and Chat will definitely continue on Sundays, but most likely I'll be posting on that other channel every Wednesday until the end of the year, with the exception being for Christmas. That week I will post on Tuesday. There's a small chance maybe I'll post on that Thursday, but the plan right now is to post on Tuesday instead. So keep an eye out for that. Those videos right now, I am currently doing a small series where I do my entire Game of Thrones reading vlog. I managed to read all of the Game of Thrones series, the 5 books that are currently published, in 24 days. And I vlogged the entire experience of me doing it. It was such a fun challenge. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy reading and just kind of talking to you guys about reading, talking to people in general about reading. So that's really what that other channel is going to be. And I can absolutely promise you guys right now that if I needed to drop one of my channels, I would drop that one. That channel might get to a point where I'm uploading twice a month, and this channel, hopefully I can keep up doing once a week. Even if I get really, really busy, that would be my goal. I would rather have this channel than that one. So that one might be something that I do just for fun whenever I'm feeling like it, after the Game of Thrones challenge finishes. But for right now, I'm going to post once a week on both of them. So if you're an active listener in my Sketch and Chat series, you might be looking at this video and noticing something and go, Amanda, I thought we talked last week about the tape that you were using and how it keeps ripping your pages. And yes, I did reuse that tape again, that artist tape. It ripped a small section, but not very much. I used my heat gun on it as best as I could, which I've done in the past, and it still ripped, but I was just very, very, very careful this time. I needed it because of how the page was laying. The washi tape wasn't sticking and staying stuck because it's right on that crack. You can see if you go horizontal, it has to go over a fold in the sketchbook, and because of that, every single time I picked up the sketchbook, the tape came undone right in the middle. So I had to switch over to the artist tape. I'm really glad that I still have it then, because otherwise I was thinking about getting rid of it. I'm trying to use it for other things, so that's why I still have it. And look, it came in handy for something. But yes, moving into the future, I will not be using that tape, especially not right near where the spine is going vertically, because that's where it seems to be ripping the pages most often. I'm not sure why that is. It has to have something to do with the paper. Maybe even I'll have to go back and check to see if the vertical on the outside gets ripped often, but that's where I'm seeing most of the ripping happen. So I'm definitely going to be avoiding that area with any of the pro artist tape in the future. That's just going to have to be a washi only area, but honestly, I'm just going to try to use that tape as little as humanly possible on this paper for the rest of the sketchbook. I am so excited about how this series is going. It's going to be absolutely amazing when this sketchbook is finished and I have this completed piece of art. Like, the sketchbook itself will be a piece of art, and I'll have all these videos to go along with it. It's going to be so cool to flip through. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a sketchbook flip through. It seems kind of dumb to do that when I've recorded every single one of these pieces, but at the same time, it might be nice to have to share on possibly my Instagram or Facebook to let people know that, hey, if you want to see any of this art being created, it's on my YouTube. And of course, I would share it on my YouTube too. Maybe that would be a good idea, just so I could talk about how I feel about most of this art a month after the whole entire sketchbook is finished. We'll see. We have plenty of time until it's ready to even be thought about. So one of the things I had not mentioned earlier when I was talking about this piece was another way that I connected the two spreads was the heart on the left is extremely bloody, of course, but then I made this like gaping hole in her chest where it looks like the heart could have come out of. And you can tell that she's upset, but I had it so that it was like she wasn't necessarily feeling the pain from this wound anymore, to help emphasize that feeling of moving on and growth and overcoming certain problems, whatever it is that she might have been going through. So there's that small connection right there in case you hadn't noticed it yet. I really love painting red blood. One of the tricks I've learned, which seems really weird to me, is if you want to paint realistic blood, in the lighter areas you make it more yellow red, and in the darker areas you make it more blue red, and then you also want to mix in a lot of browns into the red. I did some of this. I didn't follow all of my rules because part of the thing that I wanted was to not have it be perfect blood lookingness, but I enjoy learning those kinds of tricks and painting that kind of way. You can also see that I did go back and paint the heart white. That is my white ink. I have all the materials listed down below in case you're curious about anything that I'm using. And I do that for all of these art videos, especially the art sketch and chat videos. So anytime you have any questions, check out the description and see if I've covered it really quickly there. This white ink is one of my absolute favorite things that I have ever bought. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. I wanted it originally to be able to be used as a ink for a calligraphy pen, and I bought a calligraphy pen to go with this ink. And this ink was, when I opened it up, it was really thick, and I actually had to Google how to use it because it was so thick. I couldn't get it to work with my calligraphy my calligraphy nibs or a regular brush, and I was getting really irritated with it, and I was like, oh my goodness, did I just waste all this money on this supply that's not gonna work? And so I Googled how to use it, and there were some videos on YouTube showing, and all you have to do is dip a little bit of water in the well first, mix it up, in just the amount of ink that you're going to be using, and then it's quite easy to use. It's almost like it's like an ink. I was gonna say like a wet acrylic, but it's like an ink. And apologies for my head being in the shot when I do this detailing work at the end. I have to get really close to things when I'm detailing them, when I'm using a liner brush, when I'm writing words or lining anything. I just need to be close to see it. So you're going to see a lot of my head in these last few shots as I'm working on the final details. But anyways, if you're looking for a white ink, I highly recommend this one. I would definitely be willing to try out some other ones when this one is done to see if there's any that compare. But for right now, I am really, really happy with this brand. And we are almost at the end of this video, so I am just going to say thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Please let me know if you have any kind of tarot cards that you feel connected to. I hope that there's some positivity in your life and some good vibes coming your way. I hope that you will like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my second channel if you found that at all interesting. So I'm going to let you guys finish watching this on your own, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.